We are live. What's up, my friend? Abbie here, and welcome to another Write With Me live stream, session number 2 for the NaNoWriMo sessions. So I've been doing more Write With Me live streams this month. I usually do like one a month, but I've been doing more of them this month because it's NaNoWriMo. So first things first, tell me if you can see me and hear me okay. I think we should be good because my internet connection should be solid. And I know a lot of you guys are already here, so welcome. Thank you for showing up early. Thank you for being here and chatting in the chat box. I've been watching you guys chatting with each other, and I absolutely love seeing this community come together and create beautiful things. It's so exciting. It's so awesome. So thank you for being here. Okay, you can see me? Great. Loud and clear. Awesome. So I actually really want to know how many of you are doing this for the first time with me today, because I usually don't do these on the weekend. I usually do them on Wednesdays. And this month I decided to do more Write With Me live streams. So I did one on today. I'm doing it on the weekend. And I have a feeling that a lot more writers are going to be able to show up to this one because I know a lot of you guys have work or school on Wednesday and you can't make it. So hopefully, if you weren't able to make it last time, you are here today to write with me. Also tell me where you're tuning in from because I love to see that. Super chat already came in. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Abbie, hope you're keeping well. I am. I'm doing very well. It is a beautiful sunny day today, and it's pretty warm where I am. I'm not in Vermont right now. I'm somewhere else. I'm not going to say where because I have to keep some things private, guys. But I'm in a warm climate, so I have my iced chai with me today, which is very good. Hopefully you guys have something yummy to drink. I'm going to chat for a few minutes while everybody jumps on. So thank you for the super chat. And it's worth mentioning now, since that just came in, that in case some of you don't know, super chat is a fun way for you to support me while I'm here on the live stream, while we are all writing together. It's a great way to support my channel and also a great way for me to see your comment. So a lot of times when everybody's chatting, the comments fly by super fast, the questions fly by really fast, and I might not see your question. But when you do the super chat, it pins your question for a certain amount of time. So I'm more likely to see it. I try to get every single super chat that comes in. I try to find every single one. You guys have told me before when I miss one. So I'm way more likely to answer a question and see it through the super chat. But I'm also going to be answering questions that come in during the live. The ones that I see, I will answer as many as I possibly can during the breaks. So the way these Write With Me live streams are structured, if you're new around here, is we do writing sprints and we have short breaks in between. So we'll do 3 writing sprints, 25 minutes each, and have 5 to 10 minute breaks in between to chat about our stories. So I will look at the chat, I will pick some questions, answer those questions, and then we'll get back into our next writing sprint. Okay, so there's 3 sprints total, and I set a timer. My timer rings, but you can set your own timer if you want to. And that's how this works. So a lot of you already know that because you've been around here for a while. So I'm going to set up my iPad for my music today. I've had bad experiences using my AirPods with my computer during, or like trying to pair them to my phone or my iPad while we are going, because they will automatically connect to my computer and then change the input, and it's a disaster. So a lot of you guys, oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you to Sophie. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for being here. So writers all over the world. This is awesome. Oregon, Italy, Australia, Boston, Poland, Sweden, Alaska. This is so cool. This is one of the coolest things about doing these Write With Me's, because I am writing with all of you amazing writers from all over the world, and that's just so amazing to me. Awesome, awesome. So you guys are working on some exciting projects, it looks like. I saw you guys chatting before I got on the live. And I know a lot of you are participating in NaNoWriMo. If you've been following me, you probably know that I'm not participating in NaNoWriMo this year, but I've been trying to write as much as possible, which has been really difficult with publishing my new book. So if you guys have not seen, I don't know who you are if you haven't seen this, but my new book, Tessa and West and the Best Christmas Ever, which is the cute holiday sequel to 100 Days of Sunlight, my debut novel. Didn't see this coming at all. I was not expecting to write about these characters again, but that happened, and I was very glad it did because it's a cute story, and I think you guys will love it. A lot of you have already read it and loved it, which makes me so happy, and all your kind words mean so much to me, and I'm just super happy to share this story with the world. So that has already come out November 1st. It was released. The audiobook is coming soon. I really hope that it will be available on Audible on December 1st. I know it's already available on Apple audiobooks, iTunes, whatever it is, for pre-order. So if you want to get it from there, you can go pre-order it right now. But hopefully it will be on Audible soon. Fingers crossed. I hope it will be December 1st. But if it's not, it'll be at some point in mid-December. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to hear that. I'm also going to have a exclusive little preview of the audiobook on my YouTube channel closer to Christmas. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I was just filming a few things this morning for the book signing that I'm going to do. So that announcement is coming tomorrow. Watch my channel and keep an eye out, because when I offer these hardcovers, the signed personalized hardcovers, I have a feeling they're going to go really, really fast. So keep an eye on my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, notifications on, and I'm really excited to share this with you guys. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. Love the new bangs. Very cute. Thank you so much, Emma. I'm a fan too. I wasn't sure when I was first cutting them. I was like, did I just make a huge mistake? Hopefully not, because now I'm stuck with them. But now that I've like had them for like a week, I like them. And it was so funny because right after I cut my bangs, I was like, my family came in. I was like, notice anything different? And they were like, oh. And I was like, well, I think I look like Lizzie Bennett now. And it was so funny that I didn't even realize that I was like kind of subconsciously copying Lizzie Bennett's bangs when I was cutting them. And then I put up that video on Wednesday and like 80% of you are like, you look like Lizzie Bennett, which was so funny. It was just hilarious. And I didn't even do that on purpose, swear to God, but it must be in my subconscious. I think it must be in my subconscious. So that was funny. Okay, who's ready to write? I'm ready to write. Getting my soundtrack up. I'm going to be working on the co-write project today, which, oh, thank you guys. I saw some of you saying congrats on the 150K. I'm so excited. It was funny because yesterday morning I saw that and I didn't even know that it had ticked over until someone asked me, did you reach 150,000? And I'm like, maybe I did. And I went and checked, and sure enough, it ticked over that night, which was so exciting. It was last night, I think, or yesterday that it ticked over. So yeah, thank you guys so much for 150K. I'm so, so proud of this community and how it's grown. Okay. So I'm going to get my Scrivener project up. I'm going to work on the co-write project today, which I wrote a really long chapter last time. Last time we did a Write With Me, I started to write this chapter and it turned out to be 8,000 words, which is kind of ridiculous. But there it is. And I wasn't sure if I should end it here or like, I'd originally planned like writing a little more to this chapter, but where I left off was a good cliffhanger, so I might actually end the chapter here. I don't know. I don't really see a way to make it I kind of want to make it longer, but then I kind of like don't. I don't know. So I'll probably just like write an extra piece and then I might not use it. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to jump into our first sprint because I've already been yammering on for 10 minutes. And you guys are like, shut up. I want to write, Abbie. I know you were ready like yesterday when I put up this live watch page. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. And feel free to set your own timer, but you will hear mine ring. And I know some of you like to keep the sound on and listen to my typing ambience. So, ready to go? Ready to go? Let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna leave my book on the desk for a little passive self promo. Okay. Okay, awesome. You guys are ready? Let's go. 25 minutes on the clock. Let's get started. So it doesn't fall down. No. Rocket, it's my timer. He's like all ready to bark at my timer. Okay. Okay, honey. I will change the sound effect for the next one. How about that? Sprint number 1 is done. And Rocket came in to join us. Don't lie down. Don't you want to say hi to your favorite writing community? Hi. Everybody loves you, Rocket. They love you so much. Oh. Okay, so how'd everyone do? You're already posting your word counts, and I am just distracted hugging my dog. Awesome. 200 words, 500, 800, 630. Wow. Great job, guys. Let's see how many I wrote. I probably didn't get much in because I was having a little bit of hesitation. Okay, I wrote like 350 words. I was having some hesitation as to like if I should switch point of view and end the chapter where it was or keep writing that same chapter. But I decided to just keep writing that same chapter because I really wanted to write this extra scene for the ending that I had in mind. So I'm just going to continue writing that. But first we're going to take a quick break. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Rocket was starting to growl at, you probably heard him making all kinds of coughing noises. Not me, it was my dog. I should change this. Okay, which sound effect do you like, Rocket? That one? Let's just do that one. I think he thought maybe it was the doorbell or something. So we got all excited. Okay, another super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat from Lucy. Hey, Abbie, when publishing, is there a checklist you go through to make sure it is 100% ready for your audience and is done within a certain deadline? Yes, definitely. There is definitely a huge benefit. Here, let me put you down. He doesn't like to be held for too long. He starts licking me. That's like his nice way of saying, please put me down. So when publishing, you definitely want to have a checklist and a timeline and a structure to the way that you're going about publishing so that you can make sure that you get everything done in time. And the way I like to do this is basically reverse engineering my process. So if my goal is to publish on a certain day or just in a certain month, I kind of have to backstep like X amount of weeks, months, in order to figure out how much time I need to give myself. So comfortably for a book that's like, I'm going to be doing an ARC team and like a blog tour and all of it, comfortably for me, that's like a 6-month timeline. Okay, from I get my finished manuscript back from my editor. Basically, I consider that step 1. So I wouldn't count into your publishing the editing process for you or getting it professionally edited. That would be like kind of the beginning of your publishing timeline, because I like to have that pretty much set in stone before I start things like formatting and ARC, figuring out my ARC team and stuff like that. So I think 3 months is a good amount of time to spend doing pre-publication promotion and getting the word out about your book, because that gives you enough time to send it off to a lot of ARC readers, to get feedback, to get early reviews, and to get some conversation going about your book before you publish it. And I'm going to do some videos in the future about publishing more in depth, and I want to do masterclasses on this as well, like with fully detailed timelines, schedules, a look at how I schedule my publishing timeline and make it work for me. Of course, everybody's lifestyle is different, so you have to figure out what works best for you. But I have a video on my channel called like indie publishing start to finish, and that kind of goes over my whole process start to finish of all the things that it involves. So definitely check out that video if you haven't seen that one. Thank you to Serena for the super chat. I so appreciate it. Let's see. Answer a few more questions, and then we're going to get into our next sprint. This is a good question from Adam. Do you believe in Hitchcock's theory of suspense, that showing the reader a bomb before it goes off adds more to the shock of it than the shock of it going off unannounced? Or is suspense different to you? This is definitely a great rule of suspense. I always loved that rule because it's the difference between suspense and surprise, which there's a time and place for both of those in a story, depending on what kind of story you're writing. Like, you definitely want plot twists and surprises and things that you didn't see coming, but it's so much more suspenseful to build up to something where you kind of see what's happening. You kind of see what's going to come, and then the real intrigue factor, the curiosity factor, is with how that character is going to respond to it. So when the bomb goes off, how are the characters going to respond? That is something we can now look forward to. Whereas if we didn't know about the bomb, we couldn't look forward to it, you know? And that goes for anything, even if it doesn't seem like it's a suspenseful thing. For instance, my book actually is an example of this. In 100 Days of Sunlight, in the very beginning, when I first started writing that, when I was first coming up with the ideas, I wasn't sure if I should give Weston a point of view. I know this is insane to even think about now. Or if I should have it be all from Tessa's point of view, and then it's not revealed what Weston is hiding from her until the very end, when she finally can see him. Spoiler alert. And then I was like, no, because I want Weston to be a very important character in this story, and I want to show his point of view. And now I cannot even imagine that book without Weston's point of view, because he's like the star of the show. I absolutely love him, and I love writing his point of view more than anything, more than any character I've ever written. So I'm glad I went that road. But another reason why I went with that is because it adds suspense. Now, it's not really a suspense book. It's a contemporary romance. But it adds the suspense element of Tessa doesn't know until the end, but the reader knows the whole time. So you have this thing that you're looking forward to of like, how is she going to react when she knows, when she can see him? So that's kind of like a non-suspense example of suspense. And there's so many other examples as well. But I think there are many ways to pull this off. And I think surprise has a place. There's a time and place for surprise and plot twists. But when you're writing suspense, it's always so much more intense when you can give the reader at least a piece and show them what there is to be scared of or intimidated by or look forward to or dread happening. Wow, Abbie, you're ranting. Okay. I'm going to close this thing because it's now shining in my face. I have to like manage these blinds all day, every day, because the sun shifts and you open one and then you have to close another. Okay. Question from Katja. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Hey, Abbie, question on point of view. Do you prefer dividing point of view changes up between chapters or swapping between paragraphs, like very well executed head hopping? I've definitely seen that done in the past, but I haven't seen it done a lot because it can feel like head hopping a lot of times. I would err on the side of more like having it be short chapters rather than switching point of view inside of one chapter, and experiment with how that feels like. And when I'm talking about short chapters, I mean like, you know, they could be 500 word chapters. Okay, they don't have to be like 1,000, 2,000 words. That could be considered a short chapter depending on the size of your chapters. But I think if you're dividing it into like definite chapters, it will feel less like head hopping. And I find personally that short chapters pull me through a book way quicker, and I'm way more engaged with a book when there's short chapters, which is funny because I don't really utilize this a lot in my own writing. I was actually analyzing that last night, thinking about how long the chapters are in this book that I'm currently working on. But I think it doesn't really matter. Oh, I missed a super chat. Okay, let's see. Thank you guys. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for the super chat to Eden. Hey, Abbie, if one chapter I have everything fine and then the next chapter they woke up to something being wrong, would that be okay? Absolutely. Sounds like a plot twist. Plot twists are always a good thing, especially if they matter to the characters. That's the one thing that you have to remember is why does everything going wrong matter to the characters? How specifically does it impact them? How specifically does it stop them from getting what they want right now or stop their progress on the path of getting what they want? So every time you put a plot twist into your story, you have to consider what is the impact this has on the characters, not just, is this an exciting, crazy thing happening? That's okay. That's part of it. That's half of it. But the other half is internal. Okay, so one half is external, one half is internal. It has to matter to the characters internally, or else it's just a crazy, weird, sudden, unexpected thing happening. So make sure it matters to the characters. And I have a whole video on plot twists. I have 2 videos on plot twists, actually. One is about how to write a plot twist, and the other one is story examples of plot twists, which is one of my favorite videos because it's like a cross-examination of 4 different stories. And that was fun to make. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question, and then we're going to get into our second writing sprint. From Isabella. This is a good one. How do you make a character traumatized but not make them dramatic or annoying? So this is something that I sort of addressed a similar thing in a similar question in my last Ask Abbie video about writing dramatic tragedies. Okay, writing a traumatized character can be the same way. And the first thing you have to think of is, who is the character and what are they really like? What is their personality like? How do they deal with this thing that's happened to them? Because every single person will deal with trauma differently based on their personality, based on their life experiences, and getting to know, especially getting to know their personality and how they emotionally respond to things. This to me is like the really fun part of character building because I'm obsessed with psychology and I'm just a nerd for personality typing and figuring out like psychoanalyzing people. And I do that with my characters all the time, and it helps me to write stronger characters because the same traumatic event could happen to 2 characters, but they're both completely different in personality and in outlook on life, and so they react to it completely differently. So I think step 1 of making your character not seem overly dramatic or annoying, as you said, is to first establish what is their personality and what are they like? How do they see the world? What are their beliefs? And now from that place, from that lens that they look at everything through, how do they look at this thing that happened to them? How are they reacting, responding to that now because of who they are and what they believe? So all of that is very important for character building, but especially for writing like tragic backstory and anything traumatic that's happened to your character, because everyone will respond to it differently based on their personality and their beliefs. So hopefully that helps. If there's no other super chats, I'm going to get into the next sprint. I don't think there is. So let's get into the next sprint. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and for the questions. I will answer more questions in the next break, but let's get into our next writing sprint, okay? 25 minutes. I'm just going to unplug this battery I've been charging. Okay. Let's get into the next sprint. Maybe I can finish this chapter. Finally. Let me put some music on this time. 25 minutes on the clock. Hopefully Rocket won't bark at my timer this time. Oops. Writing sprint number 2 is finished. I was like 1 sentence away from finishing this chapter. Probably a paragraph, but whatever. Oh well. Should I, time to wake up. Is that like a, I guess that light's not plugged in. Is that like a common timer for a lot of people, probably? Or alarm sound effect, rather? Yeah, it probably gives some people, it's probably not a nice sound for a lot of you guys if you use that for your alarm. If you have to wake up super early. I can see why that would be annoying. Should I turn that on? I feel like it got really dark in here. But I also don't know if that makes the light look weird because I have my fan on. So hopefully it looks okay. How did your writing sprint go? Looks like you guys got a lot of words in. 500. Yay, 500, 1,000 words. Wow, awesome. Congratulations. Abbie, we started a band. Really? A band? What's been happening while I've been writing? You guys are starting bands and chatting. What do you do when you have too many story ideas? Cry? Laugh? Scream? Get excited about all of them and write none of them? Yeah, that's usually what I do. I have a lot of story ideas. And I try to just like follow my heart on what story idea is the one I'm the most passionate about at the moment, because I don't really know any other way to like choose the right story. I also think it's worth writing something and having it be like sort of a cathartic experience and something that just like you need for a certain season of your life, and then later maybe you rewrite the whole thing, or maybe you don't even end up publishing it or sharing it with anybody else, but like you needed it, like you needed to write it for that time of your life. Like I have definitely written a lot of writing projects like that, and now I'm like, I would have to rewrite that whole thing in order to publish it, but it's okay because like I needed to write it when I did, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a very personal thing. Writing is a journey of self-discovery, I find. Where's this super chat? Oh, I didn't even realize that you can click on them and then they pop up. That's so cool. Wow, Abbie. 150,000 subscribers later, I still don't know how to use the YouTube. Okay. How do you describe main characters well enough that your readers imagine them how they're intended to look without overdoing it on the descriptions? Thank you for the super chat. Great question. I actually have a whole video on how to write character descriptions and how to write characters describing themselves without using the mirror trick. The mirror trick is unrealistic and does not work, because who looks at themselves in the mirror and like just starts describing themselves to themselves? I don't know anyone who does that in real life. So in that video, I go over different ways to describe your characters and have your characters describe themselves without it seeming weird or forced. Definitely look up that video on my channel because I think that will help you a lot. But basically, my quick tip for this would be to sprinkle in descriptions early on, especially if it's a first-person narrator trying to describe themselves or describing other characters as well. Sprinkle in like bits and pieces of descriptions so that we get like the very basic stuff for our mental image purposes out of the way early on, and we're not like constructing a mental image that's totally opposite of what this character looks like. And by small details, I mean like adding things to dialogue tags or short descriptions in a way that doesn't like hit the pause button on your story. So the narrative keeps moving. Like she ran a hand through her curly dark hair or something like that. Or a character saying to another character, oh, I wish I was tall like you are, and stuff like that. So different things that are physical descriptions, finding ways to like show them rather than tell them, even in small descriptions. So you don't have to stop the story basically to go into a whole description. You can just sprinkle these things in, and pretty soon we have a full description in our mind because we've had bits and pieces of it delivered to us. Hopefully that helps. Definitely check out that video though, because I go more in depth in that video. Okay. Let's see. How do you choose locations for your stories? What steps do you take to ensure the setting of a scene works for you? That's a good question. I usually choose locations based off of what is going to make me feel the most passionate about writing this story, which sounds like it doesn't have anything to do with location, but it's actually really helpful because like if I'm writing a story that takes place in a certain location that I just love the vibe of it, even if I wouldn't necessarily want to like live there, but I love writing about it. I love the artistic element of what this setting feels like and looks like, and how the characters interact with the location. That will be a huge component of making me want to write this book more. So I think that your personal preferences and what you like to write about, like what settings actually inspire you in real life, and also if it's like a fantasy world, taking different elements from the real world, from places that you really love, and bringing those into your fantasy world so that you can kind of create this atmosphere that you can fall in love with and feel passionate about showing up and writing in this location. And I think that's really helpful to sustain you through the process of writing, because it really is your own world that you're going into, and you have to be excited about getting back into that world. Just like when you read a book, you're excited to get back into the world of that book, and it feels almost like going into another universe, even if it's taking place in the real world. So yeah, that's how I choose locations. Totally based off of what I just enjoy the most. I finished the first chapter of my second book, even though I haven't published the first one. Congratulations! That is awesome. And way to go, continuing to pursue your dream. All of you guys are awesome. How do you edit your book sentence by sentence? I have a video on that. Check that out. Search my YouTube channel for how to edit a story, or line editing. Line editing is what it is. So what you're thinking about is line editing, and I have a whole video on that, going into everything that I look for when I'm line editing, my whole process. Definitely check that one out. From Emma, how do you co-write with Kate? Do you write every other chapter, or how is that formatted? I'm thinking about co-writing with a friend, but I'm not sure the best way. So how Kate and I do it is we work in Scrivener, and I kind of have like the master file on Scrivener that I work in, because I have like all my notes and outlines and stuff. Kate doesn't really utilize a lot of outlines while she writes, as you guys probably know. So she has a separate Scrivener project that she usually writes her chapters in, but then she she loads her chapters into my Scrivener project, which I've shared with her, which is really another great thing about Scrivener, is that you can share projects with other people and they can upload files and add things and write things. And it's just a great software for collaboration. But the system we have going is that we each have a character, a point of view character, and we write their chapters. So oftentimes it is alternating chapters, alternating points of view. But sometimes I'll have a couple chapters in a row, because in this first book we have 3 points of view that are alternating. So sometimes there'll be my two characters will have chapters in a row. And so I'll write 2 chapters, and then Kate will write one, and then I'll write one, then she'll write one. Sometimes she'll write 2, and then I'll write 2. So it goes back and forth. And I have basically 2 characters that I'm writing at the moment, that I'm writing their points of view, which has been cool because Kate and I have very different writing styles. So it's been really interesting to see how that carries over into the character voice, because it's inherently different. I don't have to like actively think, okay, switch over to this character because Kate's writing that character. So that character automatically has a different voice, which is cool. So yeah, that's how we've been doing it. I would recommend, if you're thinking of doing a co-write project with a friend, first try writing something small with them, like a short story or something, and see how you like working with them. Because the thing about writing with another person is it's important that you are both on the same page, no pun intended, as far as ideas and vision goes. If you both have different visions, or your ideas kind of clash with each other, and you want to take it one direction, the other person wants to take it another direction, it can be difficult to collaborate. So Kate and I already have like this twin-like sense with each other that we think very much alike, and we're very open about collaborating with each other and building off of each other's ideas. So if you're a good if you and your friend are good collaborators already and worked on other projects together, it's probably good. It'll probably be a great experience, but I would recommend trying something small to start with, just to make sure you like it. But Scrivener is a great program to do this in. Okay, I'm gonna answer one more question, and then we're gonna get into our third and final sprint. And I can finally finish this chapter. From Charlotte. Do you think it's okay to start on a flashback in your book so you know the dynamic of the character's trauma, especially if it could be triggering? What would be too much for the reader too soon? Okay, so a few layers to this. I think it's great to start with flashbacks, especially flashbacks that are very meaningful to the character. Backstory, anything that can show us where this character has been, why are they the way they are, why do they believe what they believe. If we can care about them right out of the gate, that's always a good thing. So I like the idea of starting with flashbacks. I like the idea of starting with backstory, something that will show us the character's internal conflict right away. Now, as far as it being a traumatic experience that could potentially be triggering to some of your readers, I would recommend having a content guide that goes with your book when you end up publishing it, that makes readers aware of the kind of content that your book features, even if it's not something that necessarily would be categorized as rated higher, but something that could be potentially triggering for somebody or potentially disturbing. Just writing down any of that potentially triggering content and putting that in like a content guide format, like a Google Doc, is usually how I do it online, and just breaking it down by category. And that's something that you can link on your book pages. You can link it on Goodreads, and you can also add a line to your book blurb in like Amazon and other retailers if you feel the need to. But it's just good to give readers that option for, it might include a few spoilers, but it's good to just put that out there as, here's the content of this book, so that nobody's like freaked out and disturbed or triggered or like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So it's always good to be upfront, especially for the purposes of reviews, because like with ARC readers, you never want to give someone your book without them knowing what kind of content they're going to be encountering. So that's just like a sidebar tip for self-publishing. Hopefully that helps, but definitely I love flashbacks. I love starting with flashbacks. I love utilizing flashbacks for making your reader care about your character. So let's get into our third and final writing sprint. Got so cloudy. It's like so dark in here. I want to finish this chapter, and start on the next one, which I've been really eager to write. Okay, so 25 minutes on the clock again. Let's get back into it. I need I need something a little bit more chill, but still. Thanks, Amy. Boom. That was our last timer for writing sprint number 3. I still haven't finished this chapter. I'm just struggling with this dialogue. Wanted it to be realistic, but not like too melodramatic. So I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more. So share your word count if you feel so desired. And I'm going to see what I managed to do here. About like 2.5 pages, about 1,000 words. Cool. So I wrote about 1,000 words. You guys probably wrote way more than me because you're super productive and awesome. 1,000, 1,300, 900. Wow. 2,000 for the day. Awesome. That is so cool. You guys are amazing. Hit your 70,000 mark. Congratulations. That's so exciting. You guys are totally boss. Totally boss. I am so glad we got to write together today. It was super fun. I got some words written and I'm going to finish this chapter. I still have to finish it. Didn't get to finish it, but I'm going to work on that some more later. And I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So yeah, I'm glad that we got to write together today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for showing up with me to write together. It's always so much fun. I hope you got some good writing sessions in. And again, I'm going to be doing another one of these this month in honor of NaNoWriMo. I'm thinking it's going to be a later session, more like a nighttime or evening writing session. I know everyone's time zone is different, but I'm going to be doing another Write With Me live stream on the 30th of November. So we will write together again then, and it'll be kind of like crunch time, end of NaNoWriMo writing session. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for all the great questions. I hope you had a good time writing with me today. I had so much fun writing with you and chatting with you, and I will see you in the next one. Keep an eye on the channel because I'm having some really exciting stuff coming out for you guys very soon. Tomorrow I'm going to be making the announcement for the book signing of my new book, so keep an eye out for that. That's coming at you, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, until then, my friend, rock on.